This is the Big 12 now on ESPN+. One of the biggest and loudest college basketball venues can be found underneath the shadows of the Wasatch Mountains. Welcome to Provo, Utah, and an amped-up Marriott Center for a top 25 showdown. Iowa State into the rankings for the first time this week, ready to battle number 20 BYU, fresh off the program's first ever Big 12 win. Conference teams into the top 25.
Sean, the league is as good as ever with 4 new additions, including BYU. This atmosphere is going to fit right in with some of the great atmospheres in this league. Great matchup here tonight, obviously.
Two teams who are so strong in so many areas, and ironically, they're the same areas, but how they do it, completely different.
No, absolutely. Both teams have been elite at both ends of the floor. Defensively, they do it differently. Offensively tonight, watch this. BYU, elite three-point shooting team. They're going to want to play quick. Iowa State does it by using point guard play to drive the paint, attack the offensive glass, and work the interior. So contrasting offensive styles on display here in Provo.
BYU 13-3 this year. Iowa State sharing that same mark. The Cyclones 2-1 in conference play. The Cougars sitting at 1-2. Big change, though, for BYU to start this game. They are without 2 of their main players. We'll talk about that in a bit as Iowa State controls the opening tip. Lipsey, the point guard, off a Jones screen. Drifts off to the left. Here's the sharpshooting freshman, Momcilovic. Little penetration. Gilbert inside. And a turnover for the Cyclones. Trey King with the traveling violation.
Well, right there, you see in the half court, you see BYU starting 5. Jackson Robinson, Sean, getting his first start of the season here tonight. But Iowa State, first possession, trying to work that interior.
Robinson makes his first start of the season. No Trevin Knell, the most lethal outside shooter for BYU, out with a foot injury. So players like Spencer Johnson are going to have to step up. Also, no Fusensi Traore. He is out with a lingering hamstring issue. The starting 5 for the Cyclones: Lipsey, Gilbert, King, Jones, Momcilovic. Lipsey making his 50th consecutive start, the outstanding sophomore. Gilbert bounces it inside. Jones with the sky hook. No, one and done for the Cyclones.
And you've seen it already in the first 2 offensive possessions for Iowa State. Their bigs really moved well away from the ball.
Johnson with the layup, give the assist to Khalifa, and man, what a find he has been for BYU.
Yeah, and a terrific career three-point shooter at 40%. Has struggled a little bit this season at 30, but it's still there. He shot it well the last couple of games. Great backdoor cut because you know Iowa State's going to extend on the shooting of BYU on the perimeter.
Tough shot by Momcilovic, and man, he has hit these time and time again this year.
Such great poise, really skilled inside out. Shoots the 3, Sean. You can put him on the block, and then in the mid-post, that's what he likes to do is fade here.
Good recovery inside. That's Lipsey, airborne with the swat. Waterman thought he was in the clear. Gilbert puts on the brakes, nowhere to go, backs it out to Tamin Lipsey. Lipsey leads this Iowa State team in virtually every category of bingo from downtown.
And his jumper much improved right there, plenty of room. But BYU is going to be concerned about drive first.
Allen all to the corner, this is Waterman, and he gets it right back.
And that is a great sign if you're a BYU fan. Waterman in Big 12 play, just 1 of 13 from three-point range, and without Knell tonight, that's a good sign.
Lipsey unable to finish. Here comes BYU wanting to push the tempo. Hall clears it. Waterman, 2 in a row.
And that's what TJ Otzelberger was concerned about. They will push the Cyclones in transition, Sean, but they want to be careful of quick shots. And that last possession was quick. That allowed BYU to get out and run. Let's take a look at those last 2 threes from BYU. Here's the one in the corner. Nice drive. Waterman just being patient. flat along the baseline, and then Hall, understanding he's got a feel for it now, finds him there in transition. That's a great trail three from the big man.
Waterman did not score a point Saturday in Orlando. He was 0 for 3 from the floor, grabbed 7 rebounds. So a really big start for him with Trevin Nell in the lineup tonight for the Cougars.
Yeah, and this defensive rebounding will be every bit as important as those last 2 threes he's hit because of Iowa State's ability to attack the offensive glass.
Trey King, the offensive rebound, second chance for Iowa State. Couple of new Cyclones in. One of them is Hassan Ward. Hello.
Well, didn't like that contact right there, but that allowed a broken floor in numbers for Iowa State. So you see, they too, just like the Cougars, really moved the ball well in the half-court offensively.
Talked about that in the shoot-around earlier today, the physicality that Iowa State brings, especially with their bigs. 5 to shoot, cross-court pass into the opposite corner. Tough defense here by Lipsey. Long 3 is up, well short. Half-court defense that Iowa State is really good at, one of the best in the country.
And they just make you so uncomfortable. They never let you have any freedom offensively. It's very physical, and they're always right there on the catch.
King, the senior from Lexington, working his way in on Waterman, and he throws it away. Hall with the takeaway. He'll challenge Momcilovic, and he takes it right to the freshman.
And a great defensive job by Waterman, walling up right there, forcing the turnover, and that allows Hall, the talented sophomore, to get that easy one there in transition.
Long 3 from the Buffalo transfer, and it's good. Curtis Jones, who played a season-high 30 minutes in Iowa State's win against Oklahoma State on Wednesday. Long 3, right back for BYU, Jackson Robinson, and they're letting them fly, no surprise.
Well, that's the thing with this BYU ball club is you can't sleep on anybody. Mark Pope will have 4, sometimes 5 players on the floor that not only shoot the 3 well, but shoot it with range. So you have to meet them high up the floor.
Bob inside, freed up, and a good look by Lipsey as he threaded the needle. Easy lay in for King.
Lipsey has such a good floor game, and he plays with such confidence. He saw Waterman lose sight of the ball and threw it right by his ear.
Leafa leaning in, backdoor cut. There's Waterman gathering, and he'll get 2 shots. Looks like Jones clipped them. And we will get our first time out in the action. Noah Waterman has been active early for the Cougars. BYU leading by 1 here at the Marriott Center.
Tough turnovers, and then eventually won the grind. And he has done such a terrific job in his 3rd season. Of course, those Iowa State ties help, so he understands the culture, has a great appreciation for Ames, Iowa State's fans. And they know who they are, don't they, Sean? We're going to, in his words, we're going to defend, we're going to take care of the ball, and make sure the right guys are shooting it. And they do it in a great way.
And they probably are one of the hardest working teams as far as they are never letting up the amp as far as the gas on the pedal, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, and you look at tonight where you play a really excellent offensive team on the road in BYU. You know, some coaches might play more straight up or get a little conservative. He's trying to get his team to ramp up what they traditionally do defensively.
Rob Jones back in the lineup, unable to hit inside. BYU doing a nice job early on the defensive glass. It's an area Iowa State has been able to get second and third chance opportunities because of their bigs and their athleticism this year. See the patented double team that we were talking about. Saunders into the game for the first time, bounces it across the way. Robinson's 3 won't go. Waterman fights for it. And free throws coming up for Atiki Atiki. Ali, the junior from Tanzania, London Academy. He's going to get a couple of free throws. Former Cyclone Tyrese Halliburton, he is here watching the Cyclones in action. Indiana played Utah last night. Tyrese, we're hoping he gets better. He's missed the last few games with that hamstring injury, currently leading the NBA in assists. And just a long line of point guards for Iowa State throughout the years.
Fortunate to have called a few games in his Iowa State career. Great person, great teammate, obviously an elite NBA player. It has always amazed me at all levels, his ability to make all the plays that he does and hardly ever turn it over. I mean, it's unreal.
Assist to turnover ratio, incredible. Jones fouled as he peeled to the hoop, and he'll get 2 free throws. So, Brendan, any big surprises? Here we are, not quite 7 minutes into it.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I think if you're at BYU, you like the fact that Waterman's gotten involved early, couple threes, an offensive rebound that kept the last possession alive, and he's going to need to help the Cougars at both ends. Iowa State, despite BYU coming out of the gate pretty well, I mean, it's a one-possession game, so this game will settle in for Mark Pope and TJ Otzelberger here at some point.
Year 5 for Pope, and what a job, just like Otzelberger he has done. Went over from Utah Valley. In fact, both of these coaches tonight, they spent stints as an assistant at these schools before getting the head job. Waterman is feeling it tonight. His shot rims out. Fight for the rebound taken by Iowa State. Here comes Keyshawn Gilbert.
And a good job, Sean, of Hall getting out of that double team. Although they don't get that shot to go, that's what they're going to have to do, be strong with the basketball.
Third turnover on the night for Iowa State. Take a look at these two coaches. Mark Pope won a national championship as a player. He was team captain for Kentucky in 1996, while Otzelberger had the remarkable turnaround in Ames year 1, and he has continued that momentum. What a job he has done with this team this year. A lot of youth. It's that same recipe, hard-nosed, in-your-face style of basketball, and it's worked. Long 3. Robinson lets her fly. No. All being batted around like a tether ball, and Waterman saves it right to Momcilovic. Cougars by 3, 12:28 to go in this first half. 3 ball on the way. No, and nothing but white jerseys inside for the rebound. Iowa State now 5 of 10 from the floor. BYU has cooled off a little bit, 5 of 11. Both teams got off to scorching starts. Shot clock to 6. All looking for a screen, taken away. Lipsy gets it, feeds, and the layup for Gilbert.
Well, right there, the trap on the sideline. Second time they tried to do that here recently in the hall.
Back-to-back turnovers by BYU. Timeout of the action. Iowa State back within a point. Cougars by 1 in this top 25 showdown.
Hey, bro, did you see this?
Yo, what's the best thing about BYU?
The Cougars help.
Duh, the acronyms. DeMar.
Love.
Yo, it's gotta be the Creamery. I love the BYU debit card from Mountain America. You would say that. You're in the commercial. Get your BYU debit card with my style checking. Only at Mountain America. Jax, are you gonna eat all that? Maybe. You're sick, bro.
The human eye is drawn to light. Can't help it, it just happens.
How do you plead?
For mercy.
If you want to be inspired, you gotta show up with the willingness to be inspired.
And even when things don't go as planned, you can still have hope.
Man, I'm so proud of you.
I just knew that it was season ending. A shot and goal!
That's cool.
If you're looking to build your brand awareness and increase market share as BYU moves into the Big 12, this is the place, BYU Athletics. We can provide the tools you need to make sure your company is seen and heard. BYU Athletics is where you can align your products and services with loyal fans that cheer for our Cougars. And they can also help your business win. Learn more about what a partnership with BYU Athletics and your company will look like. After all, this is the place. Email sponsorship at byu.edu today.
strength on strength. Iowa State had taking the ball away. BYU's been pretty good keeping the ball this year.
Yeah, when you have the ball on the sideline, Sean, and you go ball screen, now, Lipsy, who's an elite on-ball defender, knocks it free, but you have that big already there. Also, if that's a clean play by Hall, Iowa State's going to track that. And that's just a read by Lipsy and their bigs, understanding they have the sideline as a third defender. So Hall and other Cougars, you have to be aware of where you're on the floor against Iowa State. And it's like a football game where teams sometimes blitz in certain situations and sometimes they do not. I mean, your quarterback's going to make that read, right? It's similar. Now, the positive about that, as we talked about, if you get out of the defense Iowa State throws at you, particularly when they double, if you can get out of it, there's looks on the weak side. But easier said than done with the hard pressure, aggressive nature that TJ Otzelberger's team is defensive.
And Mark Pope talked a lot about what Lipsy brings to the table, his ability to read plays, his anticipation, always a step or two in front of the opposition. This is what Gilbert does best, and that's attack the hoop, and it's followed up beautifully by Hassan Ward. Ward with 4. Quick counter, BYU, and Johnson gets the trifecta.
A great follow by Ward, who's really figured out how to score without the ball really getting to him in scoring positions. That was an offensive rebound. Conversely, when you play at BYU, even if you score, you can't celebrate. You have to sprint back and find shooters in transition.
This is a team, when you look at BYU, that will shoot it up at will. They will crash the boards. They will take care of the basketball. That was the recipe for success, especially during their non-conference schedule. A couple of near misses in Big 12 play, and they were able to win a crucial one on the road the other day against UCF as we get our first look at Jackson Pavletsky, a transfer from Wofford.
Boy, really nice to see, if you're TJ Otzelberger, him come right in and make a positive play.
Showtime for Ward, and Hassan Ward with 6.
And another thing you have to get used to when you play the Cyclones, their 5s, in this case it's Ward, can really get up the floor in passing lanes. They're so athletic and long. Right there, again, that causes another turnover. And watch this right here. I mean, you skip a man there offensively, and that's dangerous. And that's a clean one for Ward. And we talked about, you're talking about a guy in the last 4 games who is 21 of 28 from the floor. And it's from offensive rebounds we saw a couple of possessions ago, run-throughs, those type of things. Really does a great job for Iowa State in that regard.
This is Ward's 5th game back. He missed 9 games, injured in November after starting the first 3 games. And TJ Otzelberger talked about the development and really the buy-in that he had this offseason. Gilbert, a little bit out of control, throws it behind Trey King, and it's a Cyclone turnover. Lipsy, Jones, and Jones set to check in. Iowa State enjoying an 11-3 run, thanks in large part to 4 BYU turnovers.
And you see 3 bodies, new bodies come in for Iowa State. TJ Otzelberger talked to us today about how to help control pace against BYU. Using timeouts, substitution patterns, really concerned about BYU getting into any rhythm offensively because they're so elite when they're running things good.
Free ball by Khalifa, no good. It's Saunders getting BYU a second crack at it. Richie Saunders turned in 22 minutes, 8 points, 4 rebounds against UCF. He's just a hard-nosed player.
And kind of an interesting play right there that stays with it. And Mark Pope talked about Saunders. He said we have to find ways to continue to get him minutes. He makes a positive impact just about every phase of the game. And there's really nothing about him that like jumps out at you. And then suddenly at the end of the game you go, oh my gosh, Saunders played great. I mean, I know you specifically mentioned that to me early today, how much you liked him.
He's one of those players, tons of energy. And if you go sheer numbers, he's one of the most efficient players that BYU has.
And Mark Pope said he knows one speed, and that's hard.
Takeaway. Spencer Johnson in the clear. BYU back out in front.
And BYU with a little version of their own extended pressure right there. Because of the bounce pass, it's a slow pass. It checks up. Spencer Johnson able to run through.
7 for Johnson. Halfway through this first half, tight like we thought. Lipsy, step back, tough shot, no, and a strong rebound by Khalifa. Khalifa, the big man they brought in via the transfer portal this year. Extra pass up top. Jackson Robinson nearly stripped and a reach and a foul on Iowa State.
We talk so much about elite defense from Iowa State. How about BYU? And if you've noticed the last 2 or 3 half-court defensive possessions, BYU has done a great job of not letting them get downhill, not get an angle so they can attack the paint. You look at a couple possessions ago when Lipsy settled for a fadeaway jumper. That's exactly what Mark Pope wants out of the Cougars.
You're anticipating BYU to show a lot of zone tonight. We'll see what they elect to do as we go deeper into this one.
Yeah, they definitely have that. 2-3-1-3-1.
Mix it up. Lipsy the steal. Baseball home run pass down court. It's the high flyer Gilbert for 2. Man, court vision. Lipsy does it all.
And he is so strong. When you drive it on him, he gets in legal guarding position. And if you body to body with him, he forces you to turn it over.
Finger roll with the left hand by Johnson. Johnson, a 4-year player. Excellent defensive player. Really has stepped up his offensive game this season.
He has, and I like the fact that he has gotten to the rim on a couple occasions, whether it's defense creating offense or right there on the drive.
Rob Jones hesitates. 10 to shoot. Khalifa on Jones. Will get it to Gilbert. He wants a screen. Drives right. Slices just outside the lane. Tough, high arcing shot. Left it short. Khalifa, another rebound.
Well, another great stop right there. Good communication, good switch. BYU did the right thing. Just keep Gilbert in front.
Off the Khalifa screen. The 3-ball won't go this time for Spencer Johnson. Gilbert races into the front court. Curtis Jones. Lipsy with it. No blow right by Robinson. What a pass to Jones.
Well, that's a jet right there. I mean, as soon as the opportunity, the gap was created, I mean, it was a quick burst. You draw that big to you, and that's where Jones and a guy like Ward just wait for the play to develop, and Lipsy will find them.
Lipsy, 14 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds a game. He just does it all. Second chance opportunity, BYU. Khalifa looking for that backdoor. Robinson obliges, just can't bring it in. BYU fans wanted a foul. Now a pull-up 3 off transition. No. And this one ricochets out of bounds into the corner.
Well, Tamin Lipsy, an elite point guard at both ends. Defense to offense, and that's on the money right there. And then right here in the half court, little shake by Robinson, draw help, boom. Got a good one here in Provo right now.
Machine learning, robotics.
We'll both be in Manhattan as Kansas State welcomes Oklahoma State at 7. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up today. It's at ESPNplus.com/Big 12 now. Having some fun here inside the Marriott Center like they normally do. This prize fortress for BYU basketball. And a good one here in the first half. Iowa State has played 9. 8 have scored in this first half. Hassan Ward leading the way off the bench with 6. Johnson 9, Waterman 8 to pace BYU. Stripping a takeaway. Lipsy. Eyes up ahead. This is Gilbert. Piercing into the paint briefly. And an offensive foul called on the Cyclones. It's going to be Gilbert with the moving screen.
And a couple turnovers for each ball club coming out of that timeout. Iowa State mixing it up here a little bit with some essentially three-quarter court pressure. TJ Alsenberger talked about that too today. Dead balls, timeouts, just mixing things up, trying to continue to keep BYU off the rhythm.
15 foul on Iowa State. BYU sitting with just 2 fouls. Quick moving first half from Provo. 3 from the corner. Strong rebound on the weak side by Atiki. Fight ensues. And let's see here how they're going to rule it. Jump ball, and it stays with the Cougars.
Well, like the motor right now from Atiki. And they need to have him because in this matchup, they need him active at both ends of the floor. A guy that's foul prone. In fact, he's had 11 fouls in 29 minutes in Big 12 play.
That was a focus tonight. He just can't have that. He fouled out in only 7 minutes against UCF.
Yeah, no doubt. But with the matchup here tonight, Mark Pope needs to get quite a bit more floor time out of him. And that's a good sign right there.
Well, right on cue, just as we were talking, it is Atiki with the moving screen, so he's picked up his second foul. Both teams exchanging turnovers. A concerned look with Mark Pope. Again, it's a thin bench tonight. Kuseni Traore, he is out with the hamstring tonight. Ward with a lazy pass, and it's taken away. Easy steal for Richie Saunders. Robinson wants to run. Wide open. Johnson got it.
Well, that one right there, Robinson elected not to take it to the cup, but a good job of getting it in a perfect position where Johnson could catch and shoot in rhythm.
Alley-oop inside, rejected beautifully by Atiki when it looked like Watson had liftoff. Look at the ups, and you see why they're so excited about Atiki.
Yeah, absolutely. Great length right there, tremendous timing.
Ward crashing the offensive glass. Hassan Ward to get 2 shots. Iowa State 1 of 3 from the foul line in this first half.
Yeah, and we talk so much, and it's easy and obvious to do, about BYU's ability and desire to shoot the three-point shot. Iowa State's will to attack the paint. But something that's very key tonight, too, and here's to the free throw line. BYU has gone to the line less than anybody in the Big 12 Conference. And on the other side of it, Iowa State has gone more than anybody in the league. But right now, BYU, for the most part, in the half court, defending without fouling, and they've gotten to the line more, at least this point, than the Cyclones. That's a good thing.
Spencer Johnson has been a good thing in this first half. He leads this three-pointer short. Iowa State to walk it up. 4:43 to go, first half. Entertaining first half when you look at it, back and forth.
And you really haven't even had that mini run even yet. You know, that 8-2, 6-0 type run. And you get a little bit of separation.
Paveletzky back in the Iowa State lineup. Sophomore runs into a brick wall there. Saunders with the takeaway. He'll take it all the way in, though. And fouled on the putback. 2 free throws for Spencer Johnson trailing the play.
And Paveletzky, the young sophomore right there, second time I believe he's gotten a little too deep right here. And his job when he goes into the game is just get the ball club into the offense, give Lipsey a couple of minutes break. And at this level, especially with the length, maturity, strength of a BYU, you're not going to be able to certainly turn the corner without any ball movement.
Johnson with 13 in this first half. paid his dues before arriving here in Provo. He spent a redshirt year at Weber State, transferred mid-season, left the scholarship behind. Eventually ended up at a community college in Salt Lake for one season. Ended up at Utah Valley with Coach Polk, and then eventually with his hard work and his determination, now a key player for the last few seasons here in Provo. Chilovic in and out, no. Fight for the rebound, saved out of there by Khalifa. BYU with a 3-point lead. Allen Hall reverses direction, runs in to help out defense. Long three after the hesitation, and Robinson buries it. Jones quiets the crowd.
I tell you what, I love that Iowa State is committed to getting it to the paint. Just mature possession right there, crowd into it after the big three.
Johnson fouled by King, and he'll get 3 free throws. No answer right now if you're Iowa State for Spencer Johnson and Jackson Robinson. They're talking maybe second round come June. The NBA calling possibly for number 2. His third stop buries the 3. BYU 5-4. Jerem and the crew getting ready. BYU TV to keep you entertained here at half. Tyler, Kristen, Blaine, all the latest, not just from this game, but around the Big 12 on a busy night of competition. Well, just a few moments ago during the timeout, take a look at this. This is even beyond BYU range. Half court, money, baby.
Gosh. Everybody from BYU can shoot it a little bit. Points to the time on the watch. Hey, I wonder, Tyler Haws, one of BYU's all-time greats, I wonder if it's hard for him to sit there in studio and not play, especially in a game like this where the threes are flying, the tempo is up. It's been fun to see him do his thing in the Big 12 Conference.
We talked to Mark Polk, and you could just see it on his face, the sheer joy and the fun that he is having coaching this team the first week through the Big 12.
Well, I think the key is it's only been a week into the Big 12. You know, we'll revisit it when we see him later in February. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, class individual. He talked about the opportunity of all the ranked teams that they get to play coming up, and many of those will be here in the Marriott Center. Talked about how his team excited about this season, ready for it. And he even said there's some adjustment, not because of lack of ability or capability, but it's a much more physical league. Mentioned that getting used to, and he didn't mean this degrading, but the officiating. I mean, you're allowed to play a little bit more aggressively in this conference, but they have adjusted well. And I thought, Sean, the win at Central Florida was very important because they did it without having to score 80 points. It's how you win in this league. Are grinders down the stretch. They got stops, and that's how you win, especially on the run.
Yeah, they proved they can win without hitting double-digit threes.
Absolutely.
They only hit 9 in the win against the Knights. We talked about being allowed to play. You know, for him in this BYU, what's that mean for the Cougars if Lipsy switches it through?
Well, it's getting used to it, and it doesn't mean that it's it's poor officiating. The best officials are in this league. It's the best conference.
These corner threes have been there tonight for BYU. That one spins out on Noah Waterman. TJ Otzelberger brought it up with his transfer from UNLV and Keyshawn Gilbert. He said the Big 12 physicality that first game against Oklahoma jarred him a little bit.
Well, the thing, too, for BYU, maybe anybody else, is I think the biggest thing as far as the physical nature comes when you drive it. when you drive it, you have to drive it with strength. Because if you go in soft, even if you get fouled, the officials will assume you're weak. They won't give you the benefit of the doubt.
Violent collision there with Khalifa and Lipsy, and on the other end, Spencer Johnson can do no wrong. 22 is his career high. He's pumped in 19 in this first half. And a timeout, Iowa State. BYU with their largest lead.
All right, Sean, watch this. Watch Johnson here in transition. I mean, he pulls up on a dime. And Hall, who is so good at the hand-up, boom. I mean, straight up and down. I mean, flowing right into his shot. This is great communication. As Hall goes by, almost serves as a screen. And with no Trevin Knell here tonight, who has, in Big 12 conference play, been playing at an elite level, shooting 53% from three-point range, you had to have a guy or two step up. And wow, has Spencer Johnson done that here in the first half with 19 points on just 12 shots.
Trevin Knell out tonight with a foot injury. It happened late in the game in the win in Orlando. They're hoping it's a short-term injury and they're able to get him back soon. What a start it has been for Knell. Keep in mind, he was finally healthy this year after a couple of years with shoulder issues. Utilized a red shirt last year, recovering from rotator cuff surgery.
Yeah, you won't find a much quicker release anywhere in college basketball than Trevin Knell.
A rare miss by Ward, and Waterman grabs the rebound. Important finish to this first half. Johnson splits the double team, gets it out high. Khalifa throws out the pump fake to the corner. Waterman in and out, no. Khalifa kept it alive. Back to Waterman, he'll go baseline. Some contact, blocked out of there by Iowa State. Boy, they're letting them play here in this first half. Robinson for three, it won't go. There's a Cougar down under the basket, and it's Noah Waterman.
So you have a broken play, you get run off the line right there. When defensive, you can go straight up and down if you're inside the arc, as Gilbert did right there. Looked like a lot more contacts initially. This was felt like coming down. Gilbert got all basketball there.
Got cracked on the head. Looked like he hit a kneecap with all the bodies underneath as he went crumbling down. We're just talking about the physicality of this conference.
So just, Waterman's been great tonight, but that's what I'm talking about. Right there, Waterman at 6'10", 6'11", and Gilbert, who's extremely athletic at 6'4". If you're going to drive it, you go right at his chin. The hesitation got Waterman just a little bit of trouble.
And Chilovich for three, and Iowa State needed that one.
And especially, Sean, big bucket, cutting it to four, obviously. But with a stop here, Iowa State has a chance to close out the half offensively.
Khalifa, the distributor, finds Saunders. And this crowd coming to their feet as Iowa State ventures one final time into the offensive zone. Lipsy will go to work. BYU with fouls to give. Lipsy shoots and hits. And that's how the first half will end.